Huddle up, everybody. All right. In this video, we're going to continue our series on focus. And what we're talking about here are the three pillars of success, which are focus, passion, and mental toughness. We're still on the first pillar, which is focus. We have talked so far about, and focus is goal setting, right? Essentially, it's goal setting. We've talked about making the goal specific and measurable and how critically important that is. Last week, we talked about the measuring part and how there's two scores that we want to keep track of, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The outcome score, that's what everybody's focused on. Like maybe having $1 million in your retirement account.
What do you have? Yeah.
Right? What's the goal? What are you after? What's the prize? But then the second score, and really this is more important, I think, and that is your mental process score, right? Your discipline score. It's the mental process that you need to go through when you're in the heat of battle to keep you focused and give you the best opportunity, the best odds of success. And man, I love that change of thinking. So you can keep the outcome score, the big number, the goal, but we've got to have that mental process score, which is the decisions that you're making to help you be more successful. So now we're going to be talking about tangible. When we look at focus, we've got specific and measurable, then we've got tangible, then we've got difficult, and then we've got mental toughness. So we talked about specific and measurable. Now we're talking about the other three today. So let's start out with tangible. One of the things we've got to do is find a way to make your goal tangible and in your face, be visible and present when you need it the most. And I love Dr. Cook and the stories that he uses to help athletes perform at their best in the heat of battle.
Right.
And he talks about the golfers.
Right. And they put the SFT on the golf ball or on their shoe. Was it? No, it was on their golf ball.
On the golf ball, yeah. So for tangible, what we're incorporating this SFT. What we're talking about here is see the goal, see the success that you're shooting for mentally. You want to visualize that. Feel what it feels like to have achieved that goal, and then trust yourself. You can't be doubting yourself, else you're not going to have that natural rhythm, the free flowing. You can't do that. If you're doubting, then you're going to be all tense and tight, and you're not going to perform well. So I love that in golf. Put that SFT right on your ball. And he talked about the basketball player. Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember where he put the SFT?
I don't remember that one.
On the toe of his shoes.
Okay.
Right? So imagine you're in battle, you're playing basketball, and you look down, boom, there it is. It's a reminder. So how can you get that yourself when it comes to money? You can put SFT where?
In your car. Because you are in it every day going to work.
Potentially, yeah.
On your mirror, in your wallet, yeah.
Right in your wallet. You can tape a little piece of tape, something in there that says SFT. So every time you open your wallet to spend money, boom, you've got a reminder to go through the mental process of, is this going to serve me best to achieve my financial goals? And walk through whatever that mental process is that you establish. But I love that idea in the wallet or putting it in your purse. Maybe in your checkbook. Do people still pay bills with checks?
They do.
Not okay, you do. Maybe you have to tape it on your computer screen or some kind of a reminder somewhere. But every time you go to pay your bills, you trigger that. Let's go through the mental process, and I love that.
Yeah, very good.
The SFT, but we got to have something to trigger that memory. A totem, maybe it's a silver dollar, in your pocket, and you can touch it and feel it and be reminded of that. But you need a tangible way to get reminders on your income, the cash flow, what you can do about your earnings, what you can do about your savings, and what you can do about your spending. I think those are the three big keys that we need reminders on. I love this. Can you see this? This is a golden egg. Because eggs are expensive.
Way crazy.
So I like this little golden egg or golden coin that I've got inside the egg. See that? What can be the tangible
Right.
thing for you if you're working on your nest egg, or you're working on your savings account, your
Mhm.
what do we call it? Your peace of mind.
Mind. Yeah.
Most people,
Adding an extra instead of whatever the budget is to be able to add an extra grand to that. And keep that in the refrigerator as your reminder, as your trigger.
yeah, okay, there you go. But something tangible to trigger and remind you about your goal.
Mhm.
This is really good.
Mhm.
Anything else about tangible we want to add?
No,
Okay.
I think
So
we're good.
so next thing, the goal's got to be tangible. Now the goal's got to be difficult,
Difficult.
right?
Yeah,
Do you like that?
I do. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's some interesting things about difficult.
Right.
And I struggled with this with goal setting is that because of my perfectionist nature, right? I'm a recovering perfectionist, but I haven't recovered nearly as much as I'd like to. Um, I didn't want to commit to a goal because what happens if I didn't achieve it?
Mhm.
And so what I have learned along the way is that doesn't help you. And to have the courage to set a goal and the grace to forgive yourself if you don't reach it. I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? The whole idea is that you have something that you're working towards, and we like to talk about progress and not perfection,
Right.
right? So we've got to have a difficult goal to stretch us,
Right.
and part of the courage part is to set it that it's difficult enough, but not too difficult,
to where we'll be disappointed.
right? And that's where the goal setting is really an art form. And he talks about that quite a bit in the book. It is an art form, and so we want to have the courage to set a difficult goal and the grace to allow ourselves to miss it, and then just hit it, set it up again, do it again. But I liked the issue of it's got to be difficult enough, but not too difficult. Because if it's too difficult, like you said, then you'll be discouraged and you'll quit. You'll give up. You won't follow through. And that's not any good. But what happens if the goal is too easy?
If it's too lame, then you won't care. And that's not the right word. You won't bother. It won't.
Yeah.
You
just won't put any effort in, right? You'll take it for granted or whatever, and you're just not going to put the effort or the commitment into it. So that's kind of the balancing act, right? We've got to set difficult goals in order to stretch you because you want to do something you haven't done before. It can't be too difficult and it can't be too easy, right?
That's good.
Yeah, that's the art form part, and I really like that. So I don't think we need to talk any more about difficult, right?
No, at one point he talks about when your goal is difficult, often it will succeed. When you go beyond, it will succeed some of your other goals.
Okay.
I don't know. I just like that.
Yeah.
You end up doing better than you thought you would.
Right. Yeah. But because you set the difficult goal.
And followed through and plowed through and didn't give up. And
okay. This next one is really cool. It's the self-referenced element of the goal that you're setting. And one thing that the book talked about is you don't want to compare yourself to others. That does not help.
Right.
That is no good. And because what will end up happening is if you comparison robs you of joy, right? And if you compare yourself to someone who is much better than you, right? That could cause you to feel bad about yourself. And that's not good. But if you compare yourself then to someone who's not as good as you can then overinflate yourself and your ability and feel, bigger, or, your ego gets out of whack and you feel more about yourself than you should. So we want to avoid that when it comes to these goals. We want to not compare ourselves to others. We want to compete with ourselves. Right. And I think this comes from the book Atomic Habits. If you improve 1% per day, at the end of a year, you could be 37 times better. It's dramatic. It's like the compounding effect of personal development, right? So we want to compete against ourselves. And the best competition is you yesterday, right? So how can you compete against yourself and get better every day? And I love the story.
You're going to tell the story?
No, I want you to tell the story.
You tell it.
So in the book, Dr. Cook talks about the 4-minute mile and how for so long people were not able to break the 4-minute mile. But there was one guy who was self-referenced.
And they were told that they couldn't. It was not possible. That the heart could not sustain that speed for that period of time. It was just can't be done.
Right.
Yeah.
So the medical experts of the day are saying can't physically be done.
Right.
And the runner, what's his name?
Oh, I forget.
And I'm blanking out on it too. Anyways, the runner that ultimately broke the 4-minute mile happened to be a physician himself, but he tracked his progress. He was self-referencing, and he could see that if he put in so much effort on training, then that produced so much improvement in his time running. So he just said, well, based on that formula, if I put this much effort in, I'll get this much improvement. So he predicted a day in the future based on, his progression in this scale where he would break the 4-minute mile. And holy cow, if the guy didn't do it. And it's amazing. So self-reference, he was competing against himself and he reached his goal and he broke the 4-minute mile. And what's so incredible is then in the year after he did it.
Well, you got to go back because he picked a day and he stuck with it. And it was a cruddy day.
The actual day that he was going to do it was a miserable weather. Right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
But then the next year, after he broke the record, 319
other folks, runners
did it too.
Did it, yeah.
So
really cool.
Yeah, that was so awesome.
Love that.
So I love that story. So how do we apply this self-referencing concept to your personal finances? And I was thinking, maybe you want to pull that out. When we're looking at cash flow, the other way.
There we go.
Can you? Yeah, there you go. Sorry, honey, we're hiding you.
That's all right.
Cash flow, most people do it like this. If your income is $5,000 in a month, you might be spending $6,000, so your savings is minus $1,000 every month. That's really bad. We don't want to do that. Self-referencing is looking at your own numbers, right? What's your income? What's your situation look like, spending and savings? And what you want to do is like flip it and set it up on a goal that's going to work for you. Instead of the traditional way of thinking about make money, spend it, and if I have anything left over, I'll save it. We want to encourage you to flip that and implement this rule of pay yourself first. So instead, your income could be $5,000 in the month. Right away, the first thing you do as part of your goals is pay yourself first and put whatever the percentage is for you, put that away into your peace of mind account. In this example, it's $1,000. And then what you do is you live on the rest. You spend what's left over. So, but you're paying yourself for it. You're accumulating that peace of mind account. You're saving money. Okay, thanks, honey. So for self-referencing, I love that. And it reminded me of also, keeping up with the Joneses. So much peer pressure, right? So much pressure to look and to have what, your neighbors or your peers have. And it reminded me, I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's so if you can, we've got to work on resisting that. So I know you do too, but it reminds me of that little saying, don't spend money you don't have to buy things you don't need to impress people you don't know or don't even like. Right? So we're playing the money game with you, right? This is what we're doing. We're getting better with you. This is a team sport.
That's right.
We're all in this together. We're working to get better. So under this first pillar, we have talked about so far, the first pillar is focus. We've talked about setting goals that are specific and measurable, right? We've talked about making them tangible so that you can, and getting that mental process score going separately from the outcome score, and using the trigger C or SFT, see, feel, and trust. Right. We talked about making the goal difficult. Right. And for your peace of mind account, what does that look like for you? It's common, everybody, all the experts talk about having 3 to 6 months or maybe 6 to 12 months of your expenditures, your monthly bills to survive in your emergency fund. Well, that can be your peace of mind fund. So maybe you need to make it difficult on yourself to stretch yourself to get that funded quicker, right? Yeah. Don't wait 9 months or 12 months. Can you do it in 3 months? And be creative on this. I mean, you might want to look at ways you can cut spending in the short term, not permanent, or look at things you can sell that you just don't need anymore or haven't used in such a long time, that you could liquidate, sell that stuff off, and build up your peace of mind fund. Find ways to make more money. Side hustle. Yeah. There's things you can do, right? But that peace of mind fund, use that as an example here and set a difficult goal for yourself. Go get that thing knocked out. Get that cash reserve, that peace of mind fund built up quicker. You'll feel a whole lot better about yourself. And then we talked about the self-referencing goals, and don't keep up with the Joneses, right? Look at your own numbers and how can you improve your financial situation. But thanks, honey. Yeah. This was great. And we're learning, and we want you to learn along with this. We're going to keep going through the elements of this book. We covered the first pillar. There's 2 more pillars. The next one is passion. Where do you get the fuel, right? The energy that you need so that you can follow through and get those goals met. Right? So we'll see you in some other videos. Would love for you to leave some comments. If there's any questions you have or ideas for future videos, we'd love to hear them. But if you like what you're seeing so far, please give us a like, a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others that could benefit from this coaching as well. Okay? We'll see you. See ya.